What is going on, family? It is your boy Mark. You are on the Mark, where we talk everything Falcons football, man. How y'all doing this early post Minnesota Vikings loss Monday, man? How y'all feeling? I am still pissed. I woke up still mad. This was the worst loss in Arthur Smith's tenure as head coach. But something interesting happened yesterday. Something very, 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 very interesting happened yesterday that I hadn't seen in a while. Almost 100% of the fan base was on the same page yesterday. Now, we've had a mini civil war between, how you feel about the quarterback or whatever, and that's fine. But damn near everybody yesterday was in unison with saying this head coach got to go. Not only that, national media is now calling for his head. So I said, man, they're not going to get rid of him before the bye. I just don't see that. Then I woke up this morning and I'm like, if I feel this way, how does Terry Fontenot feel? How does Arthur Blank feel after dropping all that money? How do they feel this morning? They're in the mix. And it did not help with Arthur Smith's post game. I'm like, this guy he don't get it. He don't get it. So now people that were on opposite sides of the fence on how this team should go, everybody's called a ceasefire to get this guy up out the paint. Everybody's called a ceasefire. What's going on, Carlo? He said he was ready to box. Shout out to Cheese, man. Cheese was on Smitty's show yesterday. He said, man, me and Arthur got to throw hands. We got to throw hands, fam. Cheese had me cracking up, man. Your boy said we gotta throw hands behind this. What's going on, Monica? Good morning. But yeah, I wake up this morning, I'm looking at media outlets, and this is why this is the main reason, fam, I tell people to go outside the fan base. It isn't just noise here, it's noise everywhere. So DraftKings, everybody knows DraftKings. I didn't even realize they had a network. They posted 18 hours ago, Arthur Smith hot seat. Should Falcons consider moving on from head coach after week 9 loss to the Vikings? What is this? I didn't see this one yesterday. Oh, this is Blogging Dirty. 3 reasons the Atlanta Falcons need to consider firing Arthur Smith. And you best believe that once will get talked about today because of the way we lost and who we lost to. And, week 4, we came on here after the loss to Jacksonville. I said every loss we take from here on out is completely on Arthur Smith. Couldn't blame it on Desmond Ridder because I said if you kept Desmond Ridder in, it's absolute negligence. People called me crazy. Then look at what happened the next 3 games. the fumbles started to happen. The picks started to happen. The awareness was gone. But I didn't even put that on Ritter. I put that on Arthur Smith. Then you remove Ritter out of the equation. Ritter has nothing to do with it. Then we said, you know what? This is what we want to see. Because if Ritter ain't there, and then we're still losing like this, you're the issue. Now, this defense, I am not going to absolve in these two losses. Here's the reason why I'm not going to absolve them from these two losses. We're averaging more with Taylor Heineke in there. We're averaging more than 20 points a game. Problem is, we're giving up a lot more now. So I know you'll have, some people say, well, hey, man, they were gassed. They gave up 31 yesterday and they gave up 28. So in the games that we've played with Taylor Heineke, the defense has actually given up the highest scoring output this season with 28 and 24. Yesterday, they just couldn't tackle. That had nothing to do with them being gassed. These guys weren't able to tackle like in the second quarter. So, yeah, I'm not going to absolve the defense from these two losses. If you score 24, with the way that they were playing, if you score 24, you should be able to win these games. We scored 23, lost. We scored 28 and lost. So some of this falls on the defense too. But I'm more in tune to believe that the defense will get their act together before the offense. The offense has been atrocious all year. So the positive sign is we're scoring more than 20 now. That's the positive sign. That still might get Art fired. Vaughn says, why throw hands when you can just kick Art Smith down the stairs at the pins? I mean, that's murder, but What's going on, Mill? Mill says, what's up? CP, what's going on? He says, what's up, Marcus? Corliss here. How are the fur babies? Man, that's a long story, but I see my dog now like once a month. That is a long story, but he's doing fine. My other one, he passed away a couple of months ago. So yeah, that was a hard one, but we get through it. JJ says, what's up, Mark? I recently subbed. Appreciate the sub, fam. Appreciate it. Keonis, the defense just didn't come to play yesterday and didn't come to play. Yeah. In spurts, they did give our offense opportunities. It's just like we weren't firing at the same time. So they would get stops, and then the offense would turn the ball, either turn the ball over or just not get any points. So that's that. Francis, what's up, Marcus and fam? I felt that we left much time on the clock when we scored that last touchdown based on our history. Yeah, it's Falcons out there falconing. But we got to change the culture, man. We definitely have to change the culture. Definitely. JJ says FedEx boy needs to get shipped out of here. That package might be sent sooner than later. I said that package will probably be sent at the end of the year, but depending on what happens in the Arizona game, they might get them up out of here. Because, fam, we have the weakest schedule in the league. The weakest. So all these losses that we're accruing, they're unacceptable based on that. And I'm not talking about the weakest schedule based on last year. I'm talking about currently. These teams that we're playing next. We have the Vikings, we have the Saints, we have the Jets, we have the Buccaneers, we have the Panthers, we have the Colts, we have the Bears, and then we have the Saints. Notice a lot of these teams are on their backup quarterback. You can't lose these games. Chuck says, what's going on, Chuck? He says, question, if we lose to the Cardinals, is Arthur safe past the bye week? I'm going to be 100%. My gut is telling me he's safe. But your boy might be wrong on this one. And if I'm wrong on this one, hey, there's people out there saying this boy getting capped. He getting kneecapped. If we lose to Arizona, he's up out of here after the bye week. I just think, man, there's a lot that goes into that. Would I want him to get fired after the bye? Personally, with the way that things have went the 3 seasons he's been here, he doesn't deserve to coach after the bye week if you lose to Arizona. However, I don't know what it is. Something's telling me they're going to let this boy ride until the end of the season and fire him. I don't know why my gut is telling me that. But my gut could be definitely wrong. I ain't ate this morning, so my gut could be wrong. Scooter says, everybody's talking about Ritter could have won that game. Bruh, averaging 16 points a game. Taylor put up 28 and lost. Yeah, with the way that Ritter was playing, we would have lost. You can tell his confidence. The boy was thinking too much. He was putting the ball on the lettuce at an alarming rate. The man had 4 turnovers in 2 games. Or 4 fumbles. My bad. 4 fumbles in 2 games, fam. And with him, you're averaging 16 points a game. The highest scoring output that we've put up under Ritter was 30 points. And that was last year to Tampa Bay. 20 of those points came in the second half when Tampa sat everybody. So, no, I don't believe at the current state that Desmond Ritter was playing, we would have won that game with Desmond Ritter. I don't believe that at all. Armani Nigrodamus, what's up, fam? What's going on, fam? What's happening? RJ says, what's up, Mark? Been rocking with you since Atlanta Bird Gang days. This team has been constructed incorrectly. Allow Terry to find his coach. What's going on, RG? I appreciate that, man. Hey, listen. I believe here. Okay, so here's the thing. I agree with that. And here's the reason why I agree with that. Atlanta does things backwards. They hired Arthur Smith and then they hired Terry Fontenot. This is why I know Terry Fontenot's safe. Terry Fontenot is not going to have to worry about the shrapnel from the fallout of what's going to happen with Arthur Smith, because that wasn't his guy. Secondly, Terry Fontenot has done a phenomenal job putting a competent team out there. The problem is you don't have a competent coach, and your incompetent coach put in a guy at the most important position in football who wasn't ready. Not only that, but he pretty much guaranteed this boy the job with no competition. So Terry's safe. But I feel like the way that it was constructed, if we were using Kyle Pitts like we did year 1, now year 2 he went out. But look at what we're doing to Bijan. Now Bijan had 11 touches, fam. 11. Do y'all know there are some backups that got more touches than Bijan did, bruh? 11 touches. He's not using his guys. If you had a real offensive savant in here, we wouldn't be talking about the how we were constructed. But I will agree with that. If You were never going to use these guys. You should have went after Jalen Carter. Maybe you should have went after a quarterback instead of Kyle Pitts. Because you're not using these guys to their full capabilities, fam. We watched an aging Matt Ryan get that boy the ball. And mind you, Matt Ryan didn't really start using Kyle Pitts until the London game, where he had no choice because Calvin Ridley went out. And then once they had that synergy from that game, it was on and popping. So yeah, I would agree with, in hindsight, looking back at it now and looking how everything transpired, yeah. But that comes from the front office. Why the hell are you hiring your head coach? This is what I mean when I said yesterday, Atlanta needs to take its time. That was a rush hire. You got the right GM in here, but you rushed to get this boy because you figured he was going to get swooped up by somebody else. Peacecraft says Arthur Smith got to go because he be freestyling the play call. We've been saying that over here for weeks, fam. For weeks. Definitely. He's playing slots with the play call, fam. That's probably why they look so discombobulated out there. Seth says Kurt Warner broke down a couple of Arthur Smith plays. Not a guru, fam. He's got a couple of plays, fam, where the wide receivers are in the same vicinity, and it's not just a one up. This is happening often, and it's like I'm sitting here like the offense can be fixed overnight. I honestly, it can be fixed overnight, fam. And I'm not saying I'm some offensive savant, but y'all that have been rocking with me, y'all know my side of the ball is offense. And he's thinking, he's thinking so much. He's I don't want to call a man stupid, but damn, that's what it seems like. Some people are saying he's got too many mouths to feed. I'm like, on any other team, I don't see this problem. I don't see this happening in San Fran. Don't see it happening with the Rams. Kupp getting his touches. Puka getting his touches. But this offense can be fixed. Easily, this offense can be fixed. We just got the wrong guy in charge of the offense, and he's not going. People are saying, hey, he needs to give up the play calling. You'd have to fire him before that happens. He's not going to do that. He is not going to do that. Oh, hold on, let me go to Millie. Says Mark, help me out here. Why is everything so damn hard for this offense? Even the simplest ish is so difficult to execute. Coaching. You know, we had a coaching and quarterback conundrum. We had two of the wrong people in the most important positions on offense. Now, I know some people will say, well, Taylor Heineke, you know, he didn't do any better. But my thing is, if your backup's doing the same thing as your starter, why is your starter your starter? Especially when your starter's turning over the ball at the clip that he's turning the ball over. If your backup can come in and do what your starter's doing, you got to start looking at your starter. Your starter should be able to do things that your backup simply just cannot do. And right now, it's the opposite. Taylor Heineke can make plays. Desmond Ritter's just not there yet. So you put in the guy who positions you to win the game. And again, you know, the numbers don't lie. This year under Desmond Ritter, we were averaging 16 points a game. In these 2 games that Heineke has been in, we're averaging over 20 points a game. I think it's like 22 or something like that. So that's a 5-point jump in 2 weeks. I'm gonna take that. Let's see. Alberto says, Mark, what do you think of Falcons spending the money to go get Dak Prescott next season? If they keep Arthur, Cowboys might not need him. I don't see it. I don't see a scenario where they keep Arthur Smith. The only scenario I see, fam, is we have to run the table. Meaning let's look at this schedule. We have to beat the Cardinals. We come off the bye. We got to beat the Saints. We got to beat every one of these teams, which honestly is possible if you had somebody competent. He's got to run the table, win the NFC South, get a home playoff game. That's the only chance I see of this man keeping his job. And at the rate that we're going, fam, when we came into this season, this was a 10-win team. Easy. This team might not fail. We need 3 games to match what we got last year, which was 7. We're struggling against every single team we've played this year. Every single one. So none of these games are no longer a gimme game. I can't see a scenario where he keeps his job. If we lose to Arizona, I'm gonna have to give up the ghost to the people that said, hey, he getting fired after the bye. Because me personally, I just didn't see it. But now I'm more compelled to that argument because it's like, damn, bro. You're losing the teams with no real good quarterback play. Meanwhile, you were holding on to a guy with no good quarterback play. Yeah, man. But y'all know, man, I said week 4. If he kept Desmond Ritter in, that's a fireable offense. So, it is what it is. Seth, what's going on? Seth said, hell, I can make a 10-yard curl route. People are starting to look at this offense and you're like, bruh, like, what are you doing here? Like, what are these play calls, bruh? Man, my boy, last night, I told y'all about my boy yesterday. Called me and said he done for the season. This man called me later on the night with just conspiracy theories. Hey, I believe Arthur Smith on the take. This man had me cracking up, like, what you talking about, man? I believe Arthur Smith is on the take, bruh. I think he betting on these games. And I'm like, man, you reach it. Like, think about it. Think about it. We get in the red zone, and this man just start calling bullshit every week. Think about it. He pulled Bijan Robinson out in the red zone. Think about it, man. This man on the take. He suit Bijan up and then don't play him. And then let people know at halftime he ain't feel well. This man on the take, bruh. And I'm like, you've been thinking about this shit all afternoon, haven't you? Yeah. You got people out here renouncing their Falconhood until this man gets fired. You have people out here that are saying they will no longer go to the games. You have people out here that have mentally checked out on this team. Now you got people out here throwing out conspiracy theories. This is how bad this has gotten. Meanwhile, our coach goes to the podium, arrogant and condescending as hell after each loss, like we don't know football. There are a lot of variables. Well, tell me the variable that leads to us winning. Because we started out 2-0. What's going on? How come you can't get a win over subpar competition? It ain't like you playing the Bengals. It ain't like you're playing Kansas City, Philadelphia. Them losses might buy you some grace. Right? You losing to Washington with Sam Howell. You lost to Minnesota. A guy that stepped off the plane on Wednesday, probably got handed the playbook on Thursday, probably got his uniform on Friday, probably went through walkthroughs on Saturday, and beat you on Sunday. Wasn't even expected to play. Came in here, tore your ass up. Well, you know, he did it to Dallas. That man had a whole game plan. He was their guy. Fam, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how embarrassing this is. Let's say you spent 2 months on Mortal Kombat 1 that came out just recently. You've been playing it since day one. You done used strats, everything. You done spent hours on this thing. Man walk in, ain't never picked up the joystick. He played Mortal Kombat 11 a little here and there. Got in there and whooped your ass. You're going to be like, you're going to feel a certain way about that, bro. I'm sorry. I know I am. Oh, man, this is fun, man. I'd be looking at him like, you ain't never played this before? Nah, I ain't never played it before, man. I'd feel some type of way, bruh. Art don't, though. Art go to the podium, and, you know, it's just a lot of things that... Man, let me do this. Let me do this. I just want y'all to watch his body language. You know, Smitty said this guy had rich kid syndrome, right? Hold on. Let me, y'all know I gotta take off my smooth grooves when I do this, man. I gotta take off my smooth grooves when I do this. But Smitty said the boy has rich kid syndrome. Now, most people just think he's an asshole. But watching this and just watching his body language, you have people in the comments, he seems defeated. No, this seems like a guy who clearly doesn't give a fuck. Period. We lose. It is what it is. When we win, though, he's smiling ear to ear. I'm sorry if I'm a coach. First of all, if I'm a coach, we ain't losing this game. But if we lost this game, man, I'd be on fire. I'm going to show y'all 2 examples of this. We'll start with Arthur Smith first.
Back to the earlier red zone drive that you referenced early in the game. Mm-hmm. You had the false start, and then you had the pass to John down at the 1. Yep. Can you talk about the next 2 play calls? Sure. and why?
Yeah, we're in goal line, and so, you know, that's back then we were trying to get outside, and we didn't. So, yeah, we had the procedure, different play call there. We got the procedure penalty, moved us back. I believe that got us down to about the 1. And then just trying to get outside. You know, it's a play that.
Let me pause this right here. This man said we were on the 1 and we were trying to get outside. Why? Why? You're on the 1-yard line. Why are you trying to get outside, Arthur Smith? Why? And you tried to get outside not once but twice. Why? 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 This goes to show mentally, this guy don't know what he's doing. Mentally, he don't know what he's doing. If you're on the 1-yard line, bro, just turn around, hand the ball off, go up the gut. 4 times. Nah, Art's idea was we were trying to go outside.
He scored on before in the past, so it wasn't like a giant leap of faith, obviously, that we didn't get it done, but that was the thought, trying to get outside because they moved their goal line front. They stunted the front, try to ball you up. It's a thing that they've done. We didn't get outside. So the next one, same thing, we try to take advantage and get Tyler to punch it in, and it didn't happen. So, obviously, got to be better there.
I think a lot of people would consider Bijan and Kyle as maybe your two best offensive players. Is there any reason why they weren't involved in any of the play calls down there?
Well, Kyle's out there on the goal line. We had another call, but that's just the look we got. He was out there on that series. He was in there in the goal line. The first play that we got the penalty on, we got him a look, same personnel package we entered the game with when we scored. So the first play, we were in 21. He was not out there. It was Prue. Backed up, right? He was out there, the one that we hit the screen because we got the look to John who kind of on the one. And then we're in goal line personnel. Kyle's in there. And
he was out there as a blocker, right?
We also have a package plays, the way you push plays together. And so you're on the one, they condense it. Again.
Listen to what this man just said. Reporter said that he was out there for blocking. Then Arthur said, no, we have a package for that. None of those plays were Kyle Pitts plays. None of them. 2 of those plays were Jonnu plays, specifically designed for Jonnu. That means Kyle Pitts was never getting the ball. On the 3rd down, it was the Tyler Algier. Kyle Pitts was never the target for any of these plays. But, bruh, when people say that this man does not know what he's doing, this is the shit that they mean right here. This is exactly what they mean right here. What the reporter said was spot on. You put him in there to be a blocker. You took him out and put Michael Pruitt in to be a blocker.
They executed better than we did. And obviously in hindsight, yeah, that's the thought. they're going to stunt the front. So you're trying to get outside. And we didn't. And we also have a look, depending on it, if you want to get into the pass. So, that's the old adage, obviously hindsight, we could have spread them out, but we didn't, and we didn't get it done.
Why? Oh God, Jesus Christ! Why would you spread them out right? I just, man, I can't. This guy is. I'm just speechless right now, bro. I'm honestly speechless because there are people that know football that are looking at this guy like he's fucking crazy. Everything that he just said right there makes no sense. None. But you just dove into the mind of what he thinks about in the red zone. We're on the one. We're trying to get to the outside. Why? Well, Kyle Pitts, you didn't have him or Bijan. Notice he didn't talk about Bijan at all. I mean, Bijan is only our best running back. Wasn't in there for none of them plays, bro. But let's play this video and then we'll get back in.
And in terms of how Taylor played today, how do you assess how he looked?
Yeah, obviously, he did turn the ball over, but I thought he operated on 3rd down pretty well. So, we'll obviously huddle up and evaluate everything, but, definitely he gave us some chances. He did make some plays on 3rd down. But the penalty, we did have a couple penalties, but turnovers will always hurt you. We didn't take full advantage of the ones we got. And that was a big swing. After the Jonnu touchdown, come back, we fumbled, led to their touchdown drive, and then we came back, and that was the one pick.
You have said all week that this was a 1-week thing. Have you made it? Is Taylor your guy next week?
Not right now. We'll just have to get back to evaluate it. I'm not going to, give you some answer that.
What that basically tells me is Taylor is the guy. He said for 1 week. Now all of a sudden, we got to go back and reevaluate what's going on. So this is another issue with the coach. Make your decision, stick with it. If you're going to go Taylor, make your decision and say Taylor. If you're going to go Desmond, make your decision, go Desmond. Either way you go, you can't bench that guy. He is prolonging this. So a lot of this drama, he's creating himself. What is there to evaluate? You already know who your guy is. We'll know by Wednesday. So, I mean, why we're playing this game makes no sense. But he's prolonging this like he gets some utter joy out of this shit. And it really, honestly, I'm going to be real, it does your rookie quarterback no favors. None. Unless Desmond already knows that he's benched for the rest of the year. If Desmond's completely in the dark, you're doing this kid more harm than good. But this is just who he is.
We haven't sat back and looked at everything.
Tyler's touchdown drive, he carried the ball a lot toward the end of that. You had Bijan on the sideline. Is there something going on? Is there just a personal preference? You like certain guys?
I think Tyler was in a good rhythm. I mean, obviously Bijan made a few plays. It wasn't just because of the fumble. I mean, it was working, and clearly it worked down to the end. I mean, just the way that it was going, there were certain looks they were doing. They were doing a lot of pressure looks at different personnel. We thought we kind of had them locked into a look. That's why we stayed in that personal group we did. And kind of a little mix and match. But, I mean, it was working, so we stayed with Tyler in the hot hand.
Yeah, fam, again, I'm sorry, but I would be scorched earth. I would be scorched earth. I would be scorched earth. This all goes on me. My play calling was ass. We had a couple of penalties that cost us. The Bijan fumble. I think a lot of things that's going on with Bijan is just him not getting touches. Now, that doesn't absolve him from that fumble because the ball got punched out. But you don't have your playmakers in a rhythm at all. And what I've noticed in our players is they're rhythm players. You feed the rock more to Tyler Algier. Next thing you know, it starts off 2 yards. Then the next thing you know, this boy's ripping off 10, 12-yard runs when he's getting fed the rock. You have to keep your players engaged. You have to. When your players aren't engaged, why are they running a wheel? Why? They're not going to get the ball. You got them on a go route. Why run full speed? I'm not going to get the ball. Run a curl. Ball ain't going to be there when I get there. So why? Smart Ride said he's trying to sound super smart and no one corrects him. You gotta get your guys involved. You gotta get your guys playing like Hodge is playing right now. Hodge out there running these routes like his hair is on fire. But it's getting to a point. Here's what I see happening. We lose in Arizona. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still there. Wouldn't be. I think he's going to announce Wednesday that Taylor Heineke is the quarterback. And when he announces that, he needs to announce moving forward, this is the move that we decided to make, that Taylor Heineke is going to be our starter until the end of the season, right? This kind of sets Desmond Ridder up for being on another team. And here's the reason why. You don't run the table. You don't make the playoffs. You're fired anyway. The new coach comes in, which is going to be Terry Fontenot's pick. What do they usually do? What's going on? Uncle Steve said, live bot interrupting on the mark. Overpriced tickets for sale for underachieving team. Meet me at therapy session to discuss prices. Oh God. Hey man, everybody's gonna be on somebody's couch today talking about this. But here's what I see happening. Arthur Smith gets fired. Well, I'll give you two scenarios. Both don't bode well for Desmond Ridder. Arthur Smith gets fired at the end of the season. Terry Fontenot's going to get his head coach. Fontenot probably, and I'm going to be honest, Fontenot has probably been secretly already plotting who his coach is going to be. But I think Fontenot is going to take his time with getting a head coach. What usually happens when the head coach comes in? Head coach wants their quarterback. That's like the first order of business. And I don't think their choice is going to be Desmond Ridder. They're not going to hitch their wagon to this kid, especially when this team isn't in a rebuild. You can easily look at this team and like, this team should have 7 wins. You're still going to have the majority of this roster next year. Some guys were on 1-year contracts, but for the most part, on the offensive side of the ball, all those guys are there. So that head coach is going to bring in who they want. Now they can choose to keep Desmond Ridder, but here's the thing. You got Heineke next year. He's still on a 2-year deal. So this is why Dez seems to be the odd man out, because, I mean, if you run 3 quarterbacks, Dez still has an opportunity because they would get rid of Woodside. Now, the second scenario is they fire Arthur Smith after the bye week if we lose to Arizona. Well, they're probably going to announce an interim coach. Chances are that interim coach is going to be Nielsen, because they're going to promote from within, especially when you're 10 games in the season, going on your 11th. So they'll probably promote him. I don't know if Nielsen will want to call the defense and be the head coach. Ragone is probably gone too. So you got to figure out who your offensive coordinator is. Now here's the trick bag though. You can't completely change the offensive playbook. So you're kind of committed to this offensive scheme until the end of the season. Millie says Coach Gray was hired for assistant coach for a reason. You know what? Appreciate that, Millie. I completely forgot about that. I think Kenneth said yesterday he talked about Gray. I completely forgot about that. So that would probably be the play right there. Yeah, Kenneth mentioned this yesterday. I completely forgot about it, but appreciate that. You promote Gray to coach. Nielsen still stays your defensive coordinator. You still got to figure out what's going on with that offensive coordinator though. But either way it goes, I don't think Gray is going to hitch his wagon to Ridder. So this is probably why Arthur Smith was so stubborn on Ridder, because he knows that if I'm not here, you're not here either. And I've never seen somebody hitch their wagon to a third round guy like this. You know, I see people mentioning, Peyton Manning, look at Peyton Manning's career. He was terrible. He threw all kind of interceptions, look at this and look at that. Here's the thing. Peyton Manning was once where Kirk Cousins is right now. And I got blasted for mentioning Kirk Cousins. Peyton Manning was in that exact same situation. You want to know who else was in that situation? Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was, I think, 0-4. No. He was 0-4, 0-3 before he won his first playoff game. That was the shtick on Matt Ryan. Can't win the big game. Then in 2016, he rattled off 3. 2017, he rattled off one. But it took Matt Ryan a while to get that first playoff win. But we now call Matt Ryan Mr. Consistent. You bring up Peyton Manning. Everybody knows the deal with Peyton Manning. But the difference between them and Ritter is these guys showed great games beforehand. Yeah, Peyton threw a lot of picks, but Peyton had a lot of games where you like, man, this might be that dude, bruh. This that dude. Matt Ryan showed a lot of great games. Dez has yet to show one. So no coach is going to hitch their wagon to that quarterback at all. Strapped Up says, what quarterback do you think we should go for? It just depends, fam. It depends on who's available. Like I said, you can peek in the draft. I know a lot of people don't want another rookie quarterback. That kind of low-key turns me off too, unless this guy is just an absolute damn stud. But I honestly would have to see what's going on in the offseason. I've said all year that we needed Desmond Ritter to play like Kirk Cousins. That's it. We don't need him to play like Burrow. We don't need him to play like Josh Allen. We don't need him to play like Mahomes. We don't need him to play like Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. We just need him to play like Kirk Cousins. People laughed at that. Y'all want to see Kirk Cousins' numbers? Inconsistent or not. See, it's hard for people to laugh at Kirk Cousins, and then when we putting his numbers up against Desmond Ritter's, they don't even come close. Let me ask y'all this. Would y'all take 6 touchdowns against 13 turnovers, or would you take 18 touchdowns against 5 turnovers? Right now, this season. It's kind of a no-brainer when you think about it. Kind of a no-brainer. Most people would take the 18 turnovers, the 18 touchdowns over 5 turnovers. Because if you had that, you're probably at 6 wins now, maybe 7. Kirk was doing this without his number one option. And while people gallivanted at the fact that Desmond Ritter, and this, listen, no shots on Desmond Ritter. I'm just giving comparisons and facts. When people were sitting there gallivanting at the fact that Desmond Ritter was sitting at 12 in passing yards, while he was sitting at 12, Kirk Cousins was sitting at 3. When Kirk Cousins got injured for the season, Kirk Cousins was sitting at 2. He was only behind Tua. This was without Justin Jefferson for most of those games. So it's not really a stupid thing to look at, because once upon a time, Matt Ryan was right where Kirk Cousins was. People tend to forget about that about Matt Ryan. That was the knock on Matt Ryan. He couldn't win the big game. When he finally won his first playoff game, that was the first playoff game Tony Gonzalez had ever won. And I remember Tony Gonzalez crying after the game. These are all facts. So was Matt Ryan inconsistent up until that point? So that would be an option. But again, I would, my asterisk to Kirk Cousins is that injury. How he would look with that injury. Bubba Bubba Gump said Kyler Murray, no thanks. Kyler Murray has been spun around. I like Kyler, man, but you know, there are some things that I do worry about. Attitude issues, you know, that type of stuff. He is quite tiny at the quarterback position. The boy can throw the ball though. He can make plays. But also in the playoff games that he's been in, especially that last playoff game, that was really, really concerning. So I don't know. Plus, you're going to have to pick up that contract. So neither here nor there. No matter what quarterback we get in here, I'm going to be behind until they show that they ain't the guy. But I firmly believe Terry Fontenot, because at this point, all this is on Taylor. Not on Taylor, but on Terry. All this is on Terry at this point. Because we know Arthur Smith about to get up out of here. So it's on Terry to make the right decision at head coach. That's the first order of business for a quarterback. You gotta hit a home run on the head coach. And from what I'm seeing, Terry Fontenot, he's done an incredible job as it currently stands. Got our books in order. We're not overpaying anybody. So next year we're going into it with another monster cap. He's done a good job so far protecting the books. So that's given us a couple of more years to build a team to go somewhere. But there are plenty, you know, I've heard people throw Eric Bieniemy out. Listen, I'm not going to say that's a bad idea. One reason is because I've been rooting for Eric Bieniemy, and Eric Bieniemy deserved a head coaching job. It's bad when you have to take another offensive coordinator job to prove that that you could be a viable head coach. That is an option. I think Terry's going to explore all these options. Arthur ain't coming back next year. That's an absolute. I'm putting on my Negro Damas hat on that. He ain't coming back next year. This guy's got to run the table. Part of me thinks he's already lost the locker room. The man's already lost the fan base. Dude, I didn't even see that in Dan Quinn's era. But the difference between Art and Quinn is Quinn actually did something. Art ain't done enough to be this cocky and arrogant and condescending. Quinn actually made a Super Bowl. Doubled back, got another taste of the playoffs the following year. Quinn actually did something. You 7-9, 7-10, and right now 4-5. You've had 2 years where you've been at the top of the NFC South and couldn't put your foot down. We marched straight to the Super Bowl in 2016. Now, granted, you can put a lot of that on Kyle Shanahan. But this defense on the second half of that season, they wasn't nothing to mess around with either. But he piloted that ship right into the Titanic when the Super Bowl happened. But he actually did something. You ain't done shit. So when you want to get up there and cut reporters off, have something on your resume here. You ain't got the bark to be doing all this stuff right now. You know who can do that? Belichick. Who gonna check him? got 6 of these things. Dominant for 20 plus years. I ain't answering that shit. You don't have that luxury, bruh. Why did you give it to Jonnu Smith twice? Where was Bijan? These questions you need to answer. And if your answer was we were trying to get to the outside on the 1 yard line, bro, you should be fired on that alone. You're the wrong guy. Matter of fact, when you said that, the playbook should have went to somebody else. You don't have, you're grounded. You have no access to this playbook no more. You know, it worked before. You know, it worked 3 years ago. Bro, really? Bubba Gump says 3 years in a row, 4-5 through 9 games. We're seeing the trend. Chuck says Eric Bieniemy's offensive philosophy is the exact opposite of our personnel. He throws the setup to run. And here's a funny thing about Kansas City. Kansas City's still sitting. That's just a good organization, fam. But their offense has sputtered. Their defense has gotten better this year, but their offense has sputtered this year, which is just a testament to how lethal that team is, still sitting atop the AFC. Strap said, I would say go for EB if he's available and also get a proven offensive coordinator. Man, it's this offseason going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because right now, losing to Arizona ain't really outside the realms of possibility at this point. That's very possible. And I'll give you another thing, fam. Honestly, I don't think nobody's thought about this. If he's lost the locker room, they might tank that game on their own just to get him out of here. I'm going to be watching how this team plays against Arizona. They might tap out on him just to get him out of here. And now that we have a proven case we can look at with the Las Vegas Raiders playing like cheeks, guess what happens? They fire the head coach. They give Antonio Pierce a shot. They sit Jimmy Garoppolo's ass down and they stomp the dog shit at that team yesterday. Josh Jacobs actually gave me optimism in fantasy. And they look like a completely different team after the fact they showed them in the locker room smoking cigars, bruh. Look like a completely different team. Vaughn says tanking the game to get the head coach out of here is the craziest thing I've ever heard. I'm telling you, fam, watch. Might happen. I'm not saying that's the that's the guaranteed thing to happen, but I'm telling you, fam, if he's lost the locker room, we've seen offensive lines play like shit just to get the quarterback out of there. So it wouldn't surprise me, because if anybody knows what's going on behind the scenes, it would be the players. Look at what Devontae Adams was doing for 2 or 3 weeks before they got Josh McDaniels out of there. Then they held a players only meeting. Next thing you know, this guy up out of there. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be paying attention. I'm gonna be paying attention to the game on Sunday. Millie says, Mark, Bijan said we need to be player-led and not worry about the coaches. That's hard when the coaches are calling the plays. I mean, other than if you're going to buck the system. I just, and Bijan's a rookie, with all due respect. it's hard for him to be player led when he's only touching the ball 11 times anyway. He ain't even getting a shot. So again, I'm gonna be paying major attention to these players on Sunday. Now, me personally, I think they're gonna play to win. But part of me feels like Art has lost some of that locker room. If not all. I think he's lost some of these players. And you got to feel for the defense at this point. Vaughn says, so you believe the guys that came in this offseason were brought in by Nielsen and Fontenot? Here's what the history is showing me. The draft belongs to Arthur. The offseason belongs to Terry. Because I firmly believe if it was Terry really making these decisions in the draft, they might have went for Jalen Carter. But I believe the agreement they probably have is, Terry, you go get your guys in the offseason. I'm not going to give you no pushback on it. And you just got to give me my offensive guys in the draft. That's how I've been able to predict the last 3 picks. Because I feel like these are Art picks. Kyle Pitts, Bijan, Drake London. I told people, don't be surprised if this happens. Nah, we ain't getting none of these guys. Bang, bang, bang. But if you look at what's going on in the offseason, man, these moves they don't have Arthur Smith's print on them at all. Calais Campbell, Jesse Bates, nah. I'm not going to sit there and believe those were Art picks. Especially when Terry was out here talking about how he's wheeling and dealing. Man, as soon as that money came free, Terry was out here on a spree. Dave says, I don't know if the Falcons have those kind of players in the locker room. Listen, fam, I agree. I think these guys are going to come out and play hard. And if they lose, they're going to lose hard. However, I'm going to be watching them. Everybody need to be watching these players. You start seeing guys give up on routes and shit like that. But I believe they're going to come out and play hard, man. At least I want them to, because I want to win every single game. Alberto says, I really don't want them to win the next game, to be honest, so Arthur can go. Seth says, it's so frustrating that Arthur doesn't take any responsibility for this BS. Again, man, with him, it's all about execution. His play calling is, hey, we wanted to do it this way. We didn't execute it properly, or they just played better. It's never, man, I call it a shit play. I had no business going on the outside on the 1 yard line. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Even I remember Sean Payton. Sean Payton and Sean Payton can talk shit because he's got the resume to back it. But even Sean Payton, in one of the post games this year, said, hey, that was on me. I don't know what I was thinking. And I'm like, this Sean Payton talking. Sean Payton has no problem pointing the finger. And everybody knows that Sean Payton is very arrogant. But I mean, he's earned that. New Orleans was a threat for 10 plus years. Even when their defense was all-time, almost Hall of Fame bad, Drew Brees was throwing for over 5,000 yards. That offense was still spinning. So he can talk his shit because he's done something. Art ain't done shit. So when these reporters ask you these questions, quit cutting them off. Man, if I was in there, I'm butting in. Why would you think it would be smart to go on the outside and you're on the 1 yard line? Why not just punch the ball in 4 straight times? That's a very rational question. His answer was very irrational. So I think at this point, everybody's on the same boat. Falcons fans have united. It's that bad now. And it only took 3 years. You look at Mike Smith, think Mike Smith got 5. You look at Dan Quinn, think Dan Quinn got 5. This guy got 3. Hold on, did Mike Smith get 5 or 6? Hold on for a second. I think Mike Smith might have got 6. Help me out, chat. My fingers are real slow looking this up on Google. So one person says he got 7. 2008 to 2014. Okay. Okay. I know Dan Quinn got 5 though. So Smith got 7. And Smith, look at I want y'all to look at these head coaches. Smith, I think we went to the playoffs that first year. I think we had like 3 or 4 years. Hold on, let me look at this real quick. But we were going to the playoffs, bruh. Let's look at this. 2010, first in the NFC South. 2011, second in the NFC South. 2012, first in the NFC South. So there were 3 years where we were right there in the mix. Now you look at 2013, 14, we were third in the NFC. That's when we just fell off a cliff. But 2008, we were second. 2009, we were second. And that's because, at that time, New Orleans was just on fire. Zay says, the situation different because them coaches took us to the playoffs. And exactly. They can actually pop their collar a little bit. I actually did something with this team. So they get a question that might go sideways. Yeah, they got a right to check that because they actually did something with this team. You ain't done nothing with this team. Dave says, I'm so glad that I go into other teams' fan bases, especially winning ones. Yeah, you'll notice the vibe is real different in there, right, Dave? Vibe real different. And the crazy part about it is if you go into, let's say, Kansas City's fan base, there's still room for improvement. Hey, we got to be better than this, man. We sitting at the top of the AFC, but we got some gunners coming for us. We got to find a way to clean up this offense a little bit. Defense playing on fire. These are teams that are winning. Look at Philly. That game was too close, fam. Great game, too close. Even teams that are winning right now, that's because they expect to win. We're at a point to where we don't know what we expecting this Sunday. Bond says, Mark, riddle me this. Mad Mike and OG Sam were talking about not giving up on first-time head coach Dan Quinn. First time being a head coach, got us to the Super Bowl in year 2. Houseway. Here's what I'd say with that. Dan Quinn there was promise in that first year. And then the second year, you make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, you're almost committed to this coach for at least another 2 or 3 years. So you'll have people that say we kept the wrong guy. We should have kept Shanahan. I'm like, how? How do you fire a head coach that took this team to a Super Bowl, but then hire the offensive coordinator who wet the bed in the Super Bowl? That just don't happen. That just don't happen. So I can understand Smith being Shanahan going, but that other guy though, that other guy that you had on the staff, that other guy that you let get away, went 13-3, 2 straight years in Green Bay. Yeah, that one I don't understand. But this is a win-lose league. You got to produce. I don't care if you're a 1-year or 10-year coach or 10-time coach. It don't matter. It does not matter. If you're given the tools to succeed and you still fail, put it to you this way. If I give you the material to build a house and you build a shed instead, you're fired. Because you have the tools to build a house right here. What made you think I needed a shed? So first time head coaches, man, they come and go anyway. This ain't nothing new. Look at Cliff Kingsbury. This ain't nothing new. Chip Kelly. This ain't nothing new. I can keep going. First time head coaches get fired all the time. That's why you have second time coaches, because he got fired the first time. And honestly, nobody's first go around is always the best anyway. First time head coaches more than likely go to shit teams. When he came here, we were on paper a shit team. You'll let the record tell it. You have to have results, fam. First 2 years, his job was completely safe. From the front office and the fan base. Completely safe. Last year, fam, we came on here, what we say? If we win 7 games this year, it's an achievement. Before the season started, I had us at 7-10. I said, if we get to 7 games, it's an achievement. Reason being, Matt Ryan gone. You got a bridge quarterback in Marcus Mariota. You got Kyle Pitts. You just got Drake London. He's a rookie. He's a rookie. So it's no shame with that, fam. Now, will Art Smith get another shot at a head coaching job? It'll probably be some years. Look at Dan Quinn. Been some years since he's been a head coach. Now, people are considering, him for a head coaching job at the end of this season. Your first spin around the block, sometimes it's just not good. Armani and Scooter basically saying the same thing. He says, yeah, because Belichick wasn't good with the Browns. Yeah. Seth said Dobbs in the huddle talking about get open on one. Hut. Yeah. He like, if I see some separation, I'm throwing it. Hey, what's your name again? 22. What's your name? Yeah. If you get open, I'm hitting you. Man was out there playing backyard football on us, fam. Mark, are the Falcons a good job relative to other teams in the league? I think so. You got all the tools in there. You got all the tools in there to make a house. Problem is, our builder right now, he don't know what he's doing. You got all the tools. You got a defense outside of the last 2 games. You got a solid defense. Your back end solid. Street. Hey, listen. I'm probably keeping Street. I know it's 1 game, but I'm probably keeping Street. Grady comes back. Get you another guy on that line. Get you another guy on that line. You're solid. Offensively, you're solid already. Fam, to be honest, we shouldn't have lost the games that we've lost, if we're being real. Chuck says, to be fair though, is losing to the Vikings really that bad? They've been playing better lately and beat 49. Yeah, this is bad. Let me tell you why this is bad. When they beat the Niners, they beat them with Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins was on a tear. He's been on a tear all year. He was on a tear when he played the 49ers. And he did it without Justin Jefferson. Addison was killing them boys out there. Their run game was still mediocre. But Kirk Cousins goes down. Their backup to Kirk Cousins goes down. You get a guy that jumped off the plane on Wednesday and beat you at home. Yeah, that's awful. Without Justin Jefferson, without Kirk Cousins. That's awful. That is about as bad as you can go. It's not like when the San Francisco 49ers lost Trey Lance, lost Jimmy Garoppolo, and then Brock Purdy came in. Brock Purdy had the Niners defense was top 3 at the time. And you have Christian McCaffrey, and you have Debo, and you have Ayuk, and you have Kittle. I mean, Dobbs didn't walk in with that yesterday. And he walked us down and beat us at home. Yeah, that was a bad loss, fam. That was terrible. Bubblegum said he's reading the instructions upside down. Yeah, or he can't read it all. Alberto says, Mark, don't start talking Cousins, people listening. Hey, fam, they can listen all they want to. They can't argue these numbers this year. They can't argue. They can't argue those numbers. Matter of fact, let me take a look at the passing leaders for. I think they got them updated. Let me see. They might have the majority of them listed because I know we got a Monday night game. All right, so Kirk Cousins was out, and he fell to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 6th. Man didn't play, and he's still 6th. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen's, Patrick Mahomes jumped him, and Sam Howell. Sam Howell's sitting at 2, by the way. Desmond Ridder fell all the way to God damn. Hold on. I gotta count these off. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21, 22. He fell all the way down to 22. He went from 12 to 22. Kurt went from 2 to 6. Family, these are facts. These are facts. Nothing biased against that. Ain't nothing I have. Listen, some people have put the narrative out there that I do not like Desmond Ridder. I've never said that. Never said that. Said the boy ain't ready to play. So he was 15th last week when he got benched. He was 15th. He dropped from 15th all the way down to 22 in a week. So, I mean, fam, inconsistent or not, which one y'all picking? 18-5 or 6-12? This man has triple the amount of touchdowns. Unless, fam, I'm not even talking about that no more. It is what it is. In the offseason, if I'm Terry, I'm going to take a look at him. I'm going to consider it. That don't mean I'm going to pull the trigger, but God damn it, I'm going to consider it. I'm going to be talking with Minnesota brass. Hey, what's the deal with Kurt? Well, you know, he's coming off the injury. Y'all keeping him? I don't know, man. You know, we really like this kid, man, and I don't know. All right, so yeah, man, send the particulars over here. I got to take a look at his injury. I'm gonna consider it, but you know what else I'm gonna consider? Looking in the draft, seeing who becomes available in free agency. That's what a GM's supposed to do. James says Cousins is not a winner. Well, neither was Matt Ryan. I'll just sit that right there. Matt was in the game for 14 years, went to the playoffs 6. His last 2 seasons, I'll question Matt Ryan's last 2 seasons, I'll make it easier. His last 3 seasons as a starter. What was our record? Last 3 seasons, Matt Ryan was a starter. And Matt had Julio and Calvin Ridley. Well, the last season he didn't. Oh, he had Calvin Ridley, but for like 4 or 5 games. And then Calvin said, hey, listen, I'm going to go gamble on the game. I'm going to get myself out of here some other way. And truth be told, a lot of these quarterbacks in the league are not winners. Your top echelon guys are. But see, here's the thing that I kind of don't like. They'll tell you Lamar Jackson can't win the big game, but he's a winner. Fam, we're just trying to make it to the playoffs at this point. Lamar Jackson can't win the big game. They're always in the playoffs. I want to get to them games. And for people that say that Lamar, Zay says Lamar 16-1 versus NFC teams. Yeah, but some people tell you he don't win playoff games. They'll always try to move the goalpost. And then when you ask them, well, who do you want? Since y'all don't want a guy who's got 18 touchdowns against 5 picks this year because he's inconsistent, yet and still Matt Ryan was there. Matt Ryan was right where Kirk Cousins was. And people were calling him consistent then. The fan base was. But the knock on him is he can't win the big game. He can't win playoff games. Scooter says 17-1 now. Yeah, because they just beat the brakes off of shit. I forgot the damn team they won. They won against. Yeah, so it's literally, listen, when you say somebody's not a winner, ain't no telling where Minnesota could have went. Because it seemed like they were hitting their stride. They've won 4 straight. It seemed like they were hitting their stride and they were about to get red hot. Seth says throw the ball on 2 hut. Jeff says 18.5 a game is crazy since we were supposed to have an offensive head coach. Shaking my head. It only went up the last 2 games. 20 and 28 brought the scoring average up. But listen, man, in my honest evaluation, I don't look at guys that come in here. And here's another argument. If you got a problem with Kirk Cousins, but you was over here championing Marcus Mariota last year, again, bad faith. Because some of these folks was on here hot that Marcus Mariota got benched. Y'all ain't giving Marcus Mariota a chance. When was Marcus Mariota ever consistent? When? But when he put on a Falcons jersey, though, a lot of folks caped like he was Matt Ryan. A lot of them caped. But oh my Kirk Cousins, I just threw up in my mouth. That type of shit. But I guarantee you, if Atlanta went that way and put Kirk Cousins in a Falcons jersey, these be the same folks that'll be talking about I'm ready to ride. Man, sit y'all asses down somewhere, man. Sit y'all asses down somewhere. Armani said they said Marcus Mariota was going to win comeback player of the year. Yeah, give me a break. Marcus Mariota ain't never been better than Kirk Cousins, fam. Never. On any planet. We can go into the multiverse right now and go to different universes. And in every universe, Kirk Cousins outplayed Marcus Mariota. But some of y'all caped for Marcus Mariota last year. I didn't hear a lot of talk about Marcus Mariota being inconsistent. Nope. He can come in here. He can run this defense, man. You know, he can run this offense, man. You know, he played for Arthur Smith. He also got benched too. So again, when we're talking about bringing guys in here, man, I don't really have an argument for anybody that we bring in here. It's just, okay, they're in a Falcons jersey. Let's see what they can do. Didn't bat an eye when we got Kyle Pitts. Hey, let's ride. Drake London. Hey, let's ride. Bijan. Hey, let's ride. Even Desmond Ridder. Let's ride. There's always an opportunity to get right on another team. We've seen this happen so many times. I mean, look at Geno. Geno Smith is a prime example of that. Sometimes, and just sometimes, it's the ball club that you play for. Nick Foles, prime example. Long as the man was in Philly, man looked great. Man went anywhere else, Jeeks. So for me, fam, I'd be looking at that. That's just me. Armani says, matter of fact, Marcus, I remember you made a video saying I got to see this connection between Ritter and London more next year. Yeah, they seem to have a connection, so much so that London ended up breaking Kyle Pitts' record. This Arizona game is really, 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 really important for Art Smith. It's really important. Now, if you get London back and you still wet the bed, bro, you probably gone after the bye, man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But anyway, fam, I'm about to get up out of here, man. This has been a great Monday morning Falcon game talk with you guys. I appreciate everybody in the chat, fam. As I always say, man, if you're listening to this video at work or whatever the case may be, hey, man, I appreciate you rocking with me. We'll be back on here Friday night for Friday Night Fuckery, where we'll probably just be talking about a litany of just different things, man. Falcon related, other stuff related, man. It's just no holds bar in Friday Night Fuckery. I'll take this one last comment and then I'm up out of here. Mark, I always fuck up your name, man. Mark. If you go back and look at Nielsen with the Saints, he couldn't handle running QBs. If Murray plays next week, this defense will struggle again. We will see, fam. We will definitely see. I just want to win. I always want to win, but I'm not so sure come Sunday. So I'm out of here, fam. I will see y'all Friday. Peace.